Hey guys, it's me Stace. I'm back again today with another Cricut video, and today we're making this really fun pop-up card. We're going to decorate the outside and do some embossing on the inside. And you can see the pop-up there. I did resize the card in Design Space because it actually is this small, so you can see the difference in the size. Alright, let's go to the computer and we'll get started. Alright, here we are at the computer. I'm already logged in to Design Space. I'm also on the welcome screen. From here, I'm going to go down to where it says Creative Cards, then go to the right and click on View All. In the upper right hand corner where it says Creative Cards, click on the down arrow, then go to the Cards category or the Cards section. In the search box, type in the word Deer, and then click on Enter. And the project we're making is the Happy Holidays Deer card. Going to click on that. You'll see it brings up a preview window. You'll also see here it says the finished size is approximately 4 by 6. That's the size of the card opened, so I do want to resize the card. So today I'm going to show you how to resize the card as well as changing out the greeting using a marker tool. So the very bottom, choose Customize. Alright, so we can see we have the card base or the card front, which is the pop-up piece, the card base, and also the envelope. If I click on the card base, we can see the size is approximately 4 inches wide by 5 3/4 inches tall. Again, that's the size of the card opened. I'm going to resize it to make it be approximately 8.5 by 5.5, which is your standard A2 size card. But to resize this, I need to resize everything that goes with it. Otherwise, it's not going to line up. So to resize it, take the blue piece and put it on top of the envelope. Then put the green piece on top of the blue, lining everything up. Just like that. Then highlight everything. Then right click on it and choose Group. So now when I move one, they all move together. If I resize, they all resize together as well. Now to get the size we want, go to the left hand side toolbar and choose Shapes. Click on a square. Have the square selected. The top toolbar again where the size is, unlock the lock by clicking on it, then change the width and make it be 5.5. And the height is going to be 8.5. So this is the size of the card we have, and this is the size of the card we want. I'm going to use this black piece as a template. So I'm going to focus on the upper left-hand corner of this piece with the upper left-hand corner of the green piece. So just move this over, lining up the upper left-hand corner of both pieces. Then click on our card base here. Actually, I need to move it over a little bit. There we go. Lining it up in the upper left-hand corner. Then click on this piece and just use the arrow keys to make it be the same size. So if I stop there, you can see the green piece behind it is the same size as my black piece height-wise. So I know the green piece is 8.5 inches tall. To make it be the 5.5 inches wide, click on it again and make it be the same width. If you need to, move the black piece over, lining up the upper left-hand corner. Alright, so now I know the green, if I move this down, my green piece behind it is the same size width-wise, so it's 5.5 inches wide. I can't make the card be exactly 8.5 by 5.5, so I need to pick what size I want. Do I want it to be 8.5 inches tall or 5.5 inches wide? I'm going to choose the 8.5 inches tall. So I'm going to put the black piece backward in the upper left-hand corner, and click on the envelope again, and then use the arrow keys to bring it down towards the same size, top to bottom. So I know my green piece again is 8.5 inches tall. My black piece, if I click on that and use this bottom right button and move it over, lining up with the right hand side of my green piece, I can see my black piece is about 6 inches wide, which I think is a good size. So the card will be 6 inches wide by 8.5 inches tall approximately. We can now remove this piece we were just using as a template. So now we have all these pieces here. I'm going to right click on it and choose Ungroup. So we resize the green piece, the blue piece, and also the envelope. So now I know everything will fit properly. Now to change out the greeting, you have two options. You can remove it entirely and use a stamp that you have to stamp your own greeting there, or have the Cricut draw a different greeting for it. So I'm going to click on the card, right click on it, and you'll see there's no Ungroup option. That's because a card that has a greeting on it as well as score marks are attached. They're not grouped together. So to remove that, we want to go down and choose Detach. But the Cricut does not know if I want to detach the score marks or detach the greeting. So it kind of detaches everything all at the same time. So I move the card, you'll see the score marks don't come with me. So I'm going to undo that to make sure it all lines up. So once you're done detaching something, don't click on that something because you might mess up the scroll marks. So to take the greeting off, click on where the greeting is. Then just choose the X to remove that. Now if I go to the upper right hand corner, actually before I do that, I'm going to go back. Oops, go back, hit cancel. I'm going to hit the back button a few more times. There we go. Before I do anything over here, the first thing I always do is right click on it and choose duplicate. So I have a backup just in case I mess this up. Okay, so let's go back and choose detach. Take the greeting off. Okay, so you want to cut it out like that and add your own greeting. If you go to the upper right hand corner and choose make it, I'm going to show you what happens. We have one mat here that is our scroll marks. Then we have this mat here that's our card that has no scroll marks on it. You want to make sure once you're done detaching, you want to attach it back together. Let's go back and choose cancel. So now we have the card. Highlight the entire piece, right click on it and choose attach. Okay, so now the scroll marks are back on our card. Remove that, the scroll marks come with us. Again, if you go to the upper right hand corner and choose make it, you'll see we're going to go down to that card, which is here. The scroll marks are there. So now you can cut it out that way and use your own stamp to add your greeting there. But I want the Cricut to draw the greeting for me. So to do that, go to the left hand side toolbar and choose the T for text. I'm going to type in Merry Christmas, Stacy. Okay, so now I have my text. So now when I have my text selected, you'll see it brings up this whole new text toolbar. I'm going to go to where it says alignment and choose center, so everything is lined up nicely. Now, the Cricut is going to cut this out. We can tell that by going to the upper left-hand corner. It tells us the operation of this piece that we have highlighted. It says basic cut. That means it's going to cut the letters out and we have to glue them to our card. We don't want that. We want the marker to do it. So I changed this from operation from basic cut to pen to draw, which is what I want. If I choose pen, you'll see what happens to our text. It's like an outline. I want it to look like this, a single line text. So I'm going to go back and choose the undo button to go back to my basic cut. Okay? So to change the font to make it be a writing font or a single line font, it does not happen under the operation button, if that makes sense. So click on, have the font selected, go where the font is right here, click on the down arrow, it'll bring up all the fonts, and we can see this is all the fonts that Cricut has, as well as the ones that are on your computer. So you can use either or. I'm going to, over here on the right hand side, you can also search for fonts here. I'm going to uncheck the box that says only current fonts, uncheck that. Then click on the filters button, and then go down and choose writing. This brings up all the fonts that Cricut has that'll draw it out for us on our card. I'm going to choose a child's year. So when I click on that, you'll see our font changes towards now a single line font. It's much nicer looking than the outline font we had by choosing the operation here. But you can see when we change that to writing, the operation changed to pen. Okay, so we're at the right operation. Now you want to resize it and put it on your card wherever you want, which is nice because you're able to personalize anything you want to do in Design Space and have it draw something out. So it's, in my opinion, a much nicer handwriting than I could ever do. Okay? All right, so I have that where I want it. So now if I go up top and choose Make It, again, we did not attach this back to the card. So we can see we now have the Merry Christmas Stacy all by itself. We want to attach it. Let's hit Cancel, highlight the entire piece, right-click on it, and then choose Attach. Okay, so if I go back up top to Make It, we'll now see the card. That's our original. That's the one that we changed that says Merry Christmas Stacy. I'm going to go back and choose Cancel and delete this one. I'm just going to choose this basic one. So back up top to the upper right hand corner and choose Make It. And first we have the envelope. You can see this fits on an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock, which is nice. We have the pop-up piece with our text. Then we have the blue piece. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and cut everything out, go to the table, and we'll put the card together. Alright, we are back. Everything is cut out, so we have the pop-up card, the base, and also the envelope. I'm going to work on the envelope first. Go over with the bone folder and give all that a nice crisp edge on it. Okay, so we're going to put the flaps down and then put our adhesive here. I'm using Barely Art glue. I'm actually going to put my adhesive on this little flap right here. Right there. And then right there. We're going to close that up and our envelope is done. Set that aside. Alright, you put the pin back on my glue. Now we'll work on the pop-up part and also the embossing. Now if you don't want to emboss, you don't have to. Alright, so we can see we have these two score marks right here. This is what is the fold in half. So we just push them down. You'll see the card gets folded in half. Then we have this score mark here. That one gets pushed forward, and I just do it from the back. Okay, and then we have two more score marks here. The one closest to the cutout, we're going to score outward. I guess that would be a mountain fold. And then the other one, we're going to score inward. Just be careful you don't crease the actual card itself. So I'm going to take it just like that. And grab the other piece and push that up as well. Okay. Now we take this and fold it all in half and press down on everything. It should all go together. Just go in with your bone folder and give it a nice crisp edge on it. Okay, so that's the actual pop-up card. And then we have this piece that we're going to glue to this piece. Okay, but I do want to do some embossing there. So I'm going to bring in a piece of scrap paper and just regular white embossing powder. And I'm going to just take this little embossing buddy on the lower right hand corner and just rub it. This helps get rid of any static. And you'll want to use a Versamark ink, which is basically like a little glue pad. I have a stamp. The stamps I'm using is Maymay's. It's Winter Wonderland, and I have this small snowflake there. I'm just going to stamp 3 of them. Okay, I'm going to close that up. I'm going to grab my embossing powder and just dip the card in it. Make sure you tap off all the extra. Now you can't see anything there now, but you'll see it once I use my heat tool on it. Okay, that is done. It just adds that little bit of something on the inside of the card. Alright, so now you can set that aside and bring in our card base. And we're going to take our glue again. I'm going to fold my card in half, take our glue, and we're going to put glue all on this outer edge. And you want to go a little bit close to the edge, but not a whole lot. Like I have too much glue there. I'll just take my finger and wipe it off. And I do recommend a liquid glue here because it gives you some wiggle room that a dry adhesive or like a tape runner or even my ATG would not give us. So I'm just going to take my finger and just wipe off that extra glue. Alright, I'm just going to fit it in my card, lining up the bottom, and then just kind of work my way up. Just grab this end. And I just kept the same colors that Cricut had. I do like this green and blue. This is Stampin' Up's Coastal Cabana, and the blue that I'm using is Night of Navy. Alright, so now we're going to flip it down and put glue all over here. Now here, if you want to, you could use a dry adhesive here. You can also, if you wanted to, you can just glue these two ends and make it be a gift card pocket if you want to. Just another idea. Okay, same thing. I'm going to bring it up to where it meets that end. And again, because we're using that wet adhesive, we have a little bit of wiggle room. And then a cute little card. And I like the embossing. It's just, again, that little simple touch on the inside. Alright. I'm just going to fold it in half. Just take my bone folder and just make sure everything lays nice and flat. so there's the card there. Super, super cute. Now for the front of the card, because it's plain, I wanted to add something there. So I have a piece. I did not have a piece. Let me grab it. Thought I cut it already. All right, the same Costa Cabana cardstock. I'm going to cut this to be 5 3/4 because the card base is 6 inches wide. 5 3/4 by 4. Then I have my paper here that I need to readjust now too. So this piece of paper, the pattern paper, is 3 3/4 by 5 1/2. Okay, set all that aside. So now we have this piece, and this piece. Let me grab my ATG and put some glue in the back of that. I originally had embossed snowflakes all over it, and I didn't like it, so I thought I needed to bring some of that blue in to the outside. And it's not an exact match, but I thought it was pretty close. All right, so we have that. Now to jazz this up, I'm going to take some white twine and a little piece of washi tape. Actually, I'm going to need 2 pieces of that. And just wrap it around this side. Just the one side. And I'm going to do it to where it's going to overlap twice, and I'm doing it on a little bit of an angle so it's not perfectly straight. So there's one time around. One more. And one more. Then I'm going to take my other piece of washi tape, put it on the back to hold that down, take my scissors and cut that off. And then we're going to tie a little bow right where they meet. I went this route because I didn't have a stamp I liked that was big for here that would not conflict the inside. You know, the inside we have a deer and they already have the happy holidays. So I thought I'll just make a smaller greeting and then add some twine here to kind of fill in that empty space. All right, I'm going to cut those off. Now we can take that and put that on the front of our card. Okay, bring the card over. This is going to go on the front. I do like that Costa Cabana with that Night of Navy. It's just a different combination, you know? Not your typical red and green type of card. Okay, so now we have these 2 pieces. This piece is 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. My white is 3 by 3. Now on my original one here, I did emboss this, the greeting. So I'm going to grab my cutting board again and my little embossing buddy. All right, and we're actually going to use the blue ink. We're not even going to use the Versamark because I want the blue to emboss. So I'm going to grab that, and then I'm going to grab the clear embossing powder. And you can pick these up pretty much anywhere. All right, you want to work fast with this one because this ink does dry pretty quickly. And I'm using the greeting that says Christmas is in the air, or Christmas in the air, which is the same Winter Wonderland stamp set. Stamping it on an angle, and then hurrying up and getting in that clear embossing powder. Okay, and then just flick it off. Then we'll use our heat tool again. And it's not going to be as dramatic as the white, but it does give that a little bit of lift. So let's go ahead and heat that up again. Okay, that's done. It's a neat little trick if you don't have every single color of embossing powder, and I did not have Night of Navy. All right, same stamp set. I'm going to take this little swoosh and I'm going to stamp that around it just to bring in some of the green. Okay, let's take all that away. And we're going to flip it over and grab some foam squares. I'm going to use 5 because when you do emboss, it does make your paper kind of warpy a little bit. All right, give all them a squish. Bring this back over. Oh, wrong card. Bring that back over here. We're going to glue this down. I can just use my ATG for that. So basically, we just took a simple card that was already done in the design space and just jazzed it up a little bit by making the front and also doing a little bit of embossing. Really simple. And again, if you don't have the embossing, if you want to just stamp there, there is a white ink, which is a white StazOn. You could use that as well. Okay, that's popped up, and then we're going to put that right on top of here. Okay, so it says Christmas in the air, happy holidays, really cute pop-up card. Isn't that reindeer really cute? All right, so there's that one, and there's that one. Super simple. My bow on this one's a little bit better. I'll finagle with this one a little bit, but anyway, there you have it. A really simple Cricut video. Any questions, guys, let me know. As always, thanks so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.